Astroworld. The concert that turned into a nightmare. The rise of Astroworld and Travis Scott, 2015 to 2020. In 2015, Jacques Berman Webster II, better known as Travis Scott, was no longer just another aspiring rapper from Houston. By then, he had become a cultural force, a performer who blurred the lines between hip-hop, punk energy, and immersive spectacle. His concerts were described not as shows but as ravers, frenetic gatherings where the boundary between artist and audience dissolved. Travis often spoke about his childhood in Houston, a city shaped by oil wealth, sprawling suburbs, and a proud cultural identity. One landmark in particular left a lasting imprint on him: Six Flags Astroworld, an amusement park that opened in 1968 and closed in 2005. For Houston's children, Astroworld was more than rides and roller coasters. It was a place of dreams, an escape in the middle of the city. When the park was demolished to make way for commercial development, the loss felt personal. Years later, in interviews, Travis reflected, "They tore down the place. That meant everything to us. Astroworld was like a piece of my heart." The closure created a vacuum of nostalgia that Travis recognized. For him, Astroworld became a symbol of freedom, imagination, and community. By the mid-2010s, as his career rose to global prominence, he envisioned bringing it back, not as an amusement park, but as an annual festival, where fans could lose themselves in music and spectacle. Before the Astroworld Festival became a reality, Travis Scott's career was already soaring. 2012. Discovered by T.I. and later mentored by Kanye West, Travis quickly entered hip-hop's top tier. 2013. Released his first major mixtape, Al Pharaoh, showcasing an experimental sound that fused rap with atmospheric production. 2015. His debut studio album Rodeo solidified his reputation. With tracks like Antidote, he captured a new generation that craved both heavy bass and psychedelic escape. 2016 to 2017. Birds in the Trap sing McKnight and Huncho Jack. Jack Huncho, with Quavo, kept him at the forefront. His live shows grew infamous for their intensity, with mosh pits, stage diving, and energy more common at punk or metal concerts. 2018. The release of Astroworld marked a turning point. The album was more than music. It was an entire universe. Songs like Sicko Mode topped charts worldwide, and the accompanying visuals, merchandise, and tour created a cultural moment. When Travis launched the Astroworld Festival in 2018, it was hailed as a homecoming, a spiritual restoration of the lost amusement park. The first Astroworld Festival was held on November 17, 2018, at NRG Park in Houston, the same grounds where the amusement park once stood. For locals, it felt like a resurrection. The festival drew more than 40,000 fans in its debut year. Unlike typical hip-hop events, it was designed as an immersive experience. Stages resembled portals, carnival rides dotted the grounds, and larger-than-life inflatable heads of Travis greeted attendees. The 2018 lineup featured Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Young Thug, and Ray Shremmerd. Media described it as a chaotic carnival of music and youth culture. Tickets sold out in under an hour. By 2019, Astroworld returned with 50,000 attendees and an expanded lineup that included Pharrell, Megan Thee Stallion, and Rosalia. It had become more than a festival. It was a cultural pilgrimage. For young fans, Astroworld was a rite of passage. The design grew more ambitious, featuring roller coasters, pyrotechnics, and visuals blending carnival wonder with dystopian spectacle. But beneath the euphoria, warning signs appeared. In 2019, reports emerged of fans breaking barriers and creating dangerous surges. Local authorities expressed concern, yet with millions in revenue and global media attention, the warnings went largely unheeded. The COVID-19 pandemic forced the cancellation of Astroworld 2020. The absence only deepened anticipation. By late 2021, with vaccinations rolling out and live music returning, Astroworld was marketed as the triumphant revival of concerts. By then, Travis Scott was not only a musician, but a global brand. His collaborations spanned from Nike's Jordan sneakers to McDonald's, the viral Travis Scott meal, making him a household name. He symbolized a generation that lived online, embraced chaos, and turned concerts into social media spectacles. Expectations for 2021. The lineup included SZA, Bad Bunny, and Young Thug. Tickets sold out in under an hour. Projected attendance: more than 50,000 people per day. For Houston, Astroworld 2021 represented a comeback after the isolation of the pandemic. For Travis, it was meant to be the grandest chapter in the Astroworld story. No one knew it would instead become its darkest. November 5, 2021. The night of the tragedy. By the morning of November 5, 2021, the excitement was palpable. Fans had camped outside the gates of NRG Park overnight, some even days in advance, determined to secure a front row spot. Social media buzzed with videos of fans chanting Astroworld as if it were more than a concert. It was a pilgrimage. But as early as 9 a.m., the atmosphere turned volatile. Thousands rushed the security checkpoints, tearing down barricades and overwhelming staff. Viral clips showed fans trampling over metal fences, with security unable to contain the surging crowd. Local authorities issued early warnings. If the day began with chaos, the night could end in disaster. Yet, the event pressed forward. For organizers, such unruly excitement had become part of the Astroworld brand. By late afternoon, NRG Park was filled with more than 50,000 people, crammed shoulder to shoulder. The festival grounds offered carnival rides, food vendors, and multiple stages. But the main stage, Utopia Mountain, was where everyone wanted to be. As the sun set, the energy grew electric. Performers like SZA and Lil Baby warmed up the crowd. But the real anticipation was for Travis Scott. At 8:45 p.m., just before his headlining set, the density of the crowd reached critical levels. Attendees later described the sensation as being stuck in a human ocean, unable to move, breathe, or escape. At 9 p.m., Travis Scott took the stage. Flames erupted from towering screens, and the bass from Escape Plan rattled the ground. Fans screamed and pushed forward, desperate to get closer. Almost immediately, distress signs appeared. People fainted from lack of oxygen. Others cried for help, trying to exit the tightly packed mass. Medics were overwhelmed by the sheer number of incidents. By 9:15 p.m., police and security recognized the situation was deteriorating. Yet the music thundered on. As Travis performed hit after hit, the crowd became more compressed. Witnesses described the sensation as a wave, a surge of human bodies crushing forward with uncontrollable force. Some fans were lifted off their feet, pinned against strangers with no space to breathe. Others tried climbing over barricades to escape. Panic spread as people realized they were trapped. One survivor later recalled, "You couldn't scream. You couldn't breathe. I thought I was going to die." By 9:30 p.m., medical tents were overflowing. Security radioed urgent warnings about unconscious fans, but the performance continued. During sicko mode, the crowd's intensity peaked. Fans collapsed, one after another, in the middle of the sea of bodies. CPR was administered in the crowd itself, with strangers attempting chest compressions under flashing lights. Emergency vehicles entered, sirens blaring, but had difficulty navigating through the packed audience. Some fans mistook the flashing lights of ambulances for part of the show. Even as chaos mounted, Travis continued performing for nearly 40 minutes. After the first reports of mass casualties, video later showed him briefly pausing when he noticed an unconscious fan, but then resuming as the music thundered on. At 10:10 p.m., Travis's set ended. By then, the damage was irreversible. Hundreds were injured. Dozens were hospitalized. 10 people would ultimately lose their lives, the youngest just 9 years old. The concert grounds resembled a battlefield. Shoes, bags, and broken barriers littered the ground. Parents frantically searched for missing children. Survivors wept, traumatized by what they had witnessed. The night that was supposed to be a triumphant return of live music after the pandemic instead became one of the deadliest concert tragedies in modern American history. The immediate fallout. The blame game begins. November 5th to 12th, 2021. By the night of November 5th, news of casualties began spreading through social media. Live streams, videos, and eyewitness accounts painted a horrifying picture. Fans pleading for help, unconscious bodies being lifted over the crowd, and medics struggling to navigate the dense throng. By 10:30 p.m., ambulances and emergency personnel flooded NRG Park. Floodlights revealed dozens of injured attendees sprawled across the grounds. Hospitals in Houston were inundated with patients suffering from crush injuries, broken bones, and severe asphyxiation. Families, many of whom had dropped their children off hours earlier, began arriving at hospitals, desperate for information. The youngest victims were just 9 and 14 years old. Grief and disbelief rippled across the city. Mayor Sylvester Turner described the night as one of the darkest in Houston's history. On November 6th, Travis Scott issued a statement via Twitter, saying he was absolutely devastated by what took place last night. He later posted a video on Instagram, claiming he was attempting to connect with the victims' families. Despite these statements, public sentiment was sharply critical. Fans and critics alike argued that Scott and the organizers should have halted the performance when the first signs of danger appeared. Social media erupted with the hashtag #CancelTravisScott, which trended globally. Major outlets, including the New York Times, CNN, BBC, and Rolling Stone, reported extensively on the tragedy. Headlines framed Astroworld 2021 as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked crowd energy and the responsibilities of performers and organizers. Journalists highlighted several factors contributing to the disaster. Understaffed security. Only 755 security officers for over 50,000 attendees. Inexperienced personnel. Many were temporary hires with minimal training. Insufficient emergency planning. The festival lacked clear evacuation routes and contingency plans. Pressure to continue the show. Multi-million-dollar sponsorships and live streaming obligations allegedly discouraged, stopping the performance. Shortly after the event, Videos of the crowd surge and collapsing fans went viral. TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter became platforms for survivors to share first-hand accounts. Viral clips showed fans screaming, "Stop the show!" Medics trying to perform CPR in the midst of the crowd. Barricades bending and collapsing under pressure. Internet discourse was swift and intense. Critics condemned the culture of rage concerts that Scott had popularized, questioning whether the pursuit of spectacle had overtaken safety. Early legal action. By November 9th, lawyers had begun filing lawsuits on behalf of victims and their families. The legal claims quickly numbered over 200, targeting not only Travis Scott but also Live Nation, the festival promoter, Scoremore, the event organizer, Apple Music, which had live-streamed the event, other performers present on stage, including Drake. Allegations focused on gross negligence, failure to provide adequate security, ignoring early warning signs, and continuing the show despite declared mass casualty conditions. High-profile civil rights attorney Ben Crump, known for cases involving George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, joined the legal efforts on behalf of several families. By mid-November, potential damages were estimated in the billions of dollars, marking one of the largest concert-related litigation events in U.S. history. Public and cultural impact. The tragedy reignited national debates over festival safety and celebrity accountability. Public discussions emphasized the responsibility of artists. Should performers halt shows when fans are at risk? Festival planning and regulation. How can crowd management be improved in large-scale events? The culture of chaos in modern concerts. Scott's brand had promoted rage, but critics now saw it as a direct contributor to disaster. Houston residents held vigil after vigil, lighting candles and leaving flowers, posters, and photos outside NRG Park. The names of the 10 victims became a somber symbol of the night. Ezra Blunt, 9. Madison Dubisky, 23. Barty Shani, 22. And others aged 14 to 27, each representing a young life tragically cut short. Key takeaways from the first week. Immediate tragedy. 10 dead. Hundreds injured. Dozens hospitalized. Global attention. The incident became international news within 24 hours. Accountability debate. The music industry, Live Nation, and Travis Scott came under intense scrutiny. Legal momentum. Dozens of lawsuits filed, consolidating into a massive litigation effort. Legal battles, industry reforms, and long-term consequences. November 2021 to 2025. Within weeks of the tragedy, Astroworld became not just a disaster story, but a legal battlefield. By mid-November 2021, more than 300 lawsuits had been filed against Travis Scott, Live Nation, Scoremore, and others involved in staging the festival, including Apple Music for live streaming the event. Lawyers representing victims, alleged gross negligence, emphasizing multiple points. Inadequate security and emergency preparedness, ignoring early warning signs of overcrowding, failing to halt the show. Despite a declared mass casualty incident, high-profile attorneys, including Ben Crump, brought national attention to the legal proceedings. By December 2021, potential damages were estimated at over $10 billion, reflecting not only the financial cost, but also the symbolic impact on industry accountability. Following the tragedy, the Astroworld Festival was immediately canceled for 2021. Travis Scott withdrew from upcoming performances, including his planned Coachella 2022 appearance. Sponsors, including Nike, paused collaborations, and the once meteoric trajectory of Scott's career faced an unprecedented halt. City officials quietly confirmed that Astroworld would never return in its original form, marking the end of a cultural event that had been Houston's pride. Industry and regulatory response. The disaster prompted sweeping discussions within the live music and festival industry. Stricter safety regulations. State and local authorities called for mandatory crowd management plans, medical staffing ratios, and emergency access protocols. Training and preparedness. Security personnel are now required to undergo more rigorous training, particularly for large-scale events. Show stoppage protocols. Event organizers and performers are under increased scrutiny to halt performances immediately when danger is evident. The tragedy also prompted debate about rage culture. The high-energy, chaotic concert environments Travis Scott had popularized. Critics argued that the glorification of reckless crowd behavior contributed directly to the disaster. Travis Scott's attempted comeback, 2022 to 2023. In March 2022, Scott announced Project Heal, a $5 million initiative aimed at improving concert safety and funding community programs. While some criticized it as a PR move, others saw it as a step toward accountability. By summer 2023, Scott resumed live performances, including a controversial show at the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. His album, Utopia, released in July 2023, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, signaling his commercial recovery. However, the shadow of Astroworld remained. At every performance, both fans and critics questioned whether enough had been done to prevent a repeat tragedy. Legal resolutions and settlements, 2023 to 2024. By 2023, many lawsuits reached confidential settlements. Travis Scott and Live Nation reportedly resolved the first wave of claims in October 2023, though the terms were undisclosed. In June 2023, the Texas grand jury declined to criminally charge Scott or the festival organizers. While he avoided criminal liability, the civil litigation ensured that the Astroworld tragedy remained permanently linked to his public image. By early 2024, most families had reached settlements, although some cases were still pending. The legal aftermath emphasized that there would be no single verdict, no definitive closure, and that accountability in the live event industry required systemic reform rather than individual blame alone. Long-term industry and cultural impacts. The Astroworld tragedy left a threefold legacy. 1. Industry changes. Festivals implemented stricter safety standards, including higher medical staffing, and monitored crowd densities. Emergency protocols became mandatory for large-scale events. Artists increasingly stopped performances at the first signs of crowd distress, learning from Scott's inaction. 2. Public awareness. Fans became more vigilant about safety, often documenting incidents and holding organizers accountable. Viral moments of performers, like Billie Eilish and Adele stopping shows to protect fans, were contrasted with Scott's continued performance. 3. Cultural reflection. For Travis Scott, Astroworld became a permanent mark on his legacy, reshaping his public image. For Houston, the memory of Astroworld is intertwined with mourning and reflection rather than celebration. Astroworld was intended as a celebration of music, youth, and Houston's culture. Instead, it became a cautionary tale about the dangers of spectacle without safety, the consequences of crowd mismanagement, and the moral responsibility of performers and organizers. The deaths of 10 young fans, from 9-year-old Ezra Blunt to college student Barty Shawnee, reshaped public perception of concerts worldwide. The festival is no longer merely an event name. It is a warning etched into modern history, demonstrating the deadly potential when entertainment surpasses human safety. In your opinion, what needs to be improved in security measures during such large gatherings of people? Write in the comments what unpleasant situations you have encountered while attending mass events. Watch even more incredible stories on our channel. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a new episode of rule-changing stories.